Welcome back to some more Southampton, everybody, and today we bring you games against Stoke and Tottenham, as well as the 1st of January, which is going to have some new transfers in it. And yeah, we have some signings, we have some outgoings, but we'll get to that when we get there. For now, let's focus on these two games. So last time we played Stoke, which is our first game today, we drew 1-1 with a late equaliser. Basically, Fraser Forster gave away a free goal for no reason. It was disappointing, but I think this time we're a lot more structured as a team and we can do better. I think we just know our game plan a little bit better. So, oh yeah, the other thing I forgot to mention, you remember how Cedric was suspended against whoever we played first yesterday? I think it was Swansea. Yeah, Ryan Bertrand suspended for the first game we play today, which is Stoke. So, unfortunate, but Sam McQueen's going to slot in and hopefully do a pretty good job. So, let's get this underway. So they've got a fairly similar team to last time. Not too many changes from what I can see. They do have Musa Sissoko on the bench, I believe that is. No, it's Mohamed Sissoko. I was going to say maybe they managed to get him in on loan or something, but no, it's Mohamed Sissoko. Okay, so let's just hopefully... I want this to be quite dominant, to be honest. I want to sort of really go at them and hopefully have full control of the game. 20 minutes in then, and we have a throw in here. Lamina knocks it back to McQueen in his first game for us this season. Hopefully, we can try and work something as Lamina makes space, and he manages to cut it back to Catrone. Gabbiadini was just offside. I guess he got a touch on the flick on, or he was interfering with play. Still, though, a positive chance for us there. It was a highlight in our favour. You can't go too wrong with one of those. Tottenham are winning. That's not a good sign. Nearly at the half-time mark here then, and oh, there's a highlight for them, or maybe it's not for them. We do manage to put in a challenge. Dusan Tadic puts the ball up. Patrick Catrone now on it. And can we work something? Cedric, Lamina, Gabbiadini, come on. We can get a chance from this. I know we can. We're playing it well. We're holding the ball properly. I'm not sure why those two players are stacked on top of each other. McQueen out on the left flank then here. Not Bertrand, unfortunately, but he's doing well with it. Gives it to Tadic, and we have a penalty. Oh, Lord. In the past 2 episodes, we have missed 3 penalties and scored 1. Can we bury this one? Gabbiadini steps up, and he does finally bag a penalty. He's missed 2. One against Chelsea, one against Arsenal, but against Stoke, maybe a bit less pressure on his shoulders. He does manage to just bag it into the back of the net. It's not a terrible penalty either. It was nearly saved, though. It was a good attempt at a save from Jack Butland there. But it puts us 1-0 up just going into half-time, and that certainly isn't anything you can complain about. So, do we need to change anything here is my big question, because there's only been 2 highlights, and as you can see, we've had 4 shots, 2 on target. They've had no shots, none on target. It's easy to say that we're in control, but we're not doing much at the same time. I'm just going to say I'm pleased. Okay, that had barely any effect. I might as well have said, you know, you can go home after this match, and they would have looked equally as happy. Got a free kick here then, and James Ward-Prowse puts it into the box. It's headed out, but McQueen picks it up. Quite deep here, and manages to find Catrone out on the left. Now, can he get a ball in? It looks like he might be able to. It's punch clear, though. Cedric strikes it, pinballs everywhere, falls to the feet of James Ward-Prowse. He manages to just poke it past the keeper into the back of the net. This shot from, I think it was Cedric, just absolutely ricocheted everywhere. You can't really fault their defensiveness for it because there was no way of knowing where this would go. It just bounced off 3 players, landed at the feet of James Ward-Prowse, and he was just there ready to score. Puts us 2-0 up then, and yeah, it's not a bad situation to be in. As we do get a corner as well. Hadet down to delete, and we've seen that far too many times this season. We have something going from corners. Between Hadet and delete, they just like to nod it down to each other. They trust each other on the ball. He nods it down to him, taps it in with his left, and that puts us 3-0 up. We've seen that a few times this season. It's really nice. It's nice to see, you know, set pieces working in a way that's not just whip it in, head it, whip it in, head it. Like, there's a system, it feels like, in place that I haven't created it. They're on default. They're on whatever the basic tactic was, but there is a system. So, as time ticks away here then, 10 minutes left, I'm just going to make some changes for the sake of fitness. You'll see here Lamina has just took actually quite the hit. We'll bring on Højbjerg for him. And Stephen Davies can make an appearance, and so can Charlie Austin, which I'm sure you know what that means for those two. It may well be their last game at the club. And the reason I say it may be is because I'm not sure whether the transfers for the Tottenham game are going to come in before or after the match. So, yeah. It depends. But Mohamed Sissoko takes the ball here then with 30 seconds left on the clock. We win it back and we might even get a fourth. We've conceded a lot in the last few seconds of the game this year. Can we get an extra one? It doesn't look like it, but we are working it. Stephen Davies, McQueen. If Charlie Austin scores, I'm going to look like a right knob. But Davies, McQueen... Charlie Austin's on the ball. No, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's faded out. I got all hopeful. So that is full time then, and that was a 3-0 win against Stoke. So, all around, a very good performance, and dare I say it, quite a good run of form that we've got building here. You can see my transfers? No! I'm not that bothered. You'll see them all very soon anyway. So, Wesley Haddett has picked up an injury. He's out for 8 to 12 games. I'm going to get him through this game against Tottenham, I think. I think he's just too important to not have. Respond well to my attacking temp. Don't care. Send assistant. Okay, so Catrain's nearly made 20 league appearances, which would get him a wage increase. That is fine. Oh, I've never seen this before. So he refused his pain-killing injection. It won't happen again, I'm sorry. Let's just keep him happy. It's far too important to have, you know, a little bit of a fight with. I think as well we've finally started to pick up some morale. And like I say, we've got quite a good run of form going. It sucks that he's going to be out for the Tottenham game, but it's not terrible. Because other than that, he only misses Newport. Which we don't care if he misses Newport. It's Newport. There are a lot of 3-goal games. 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-1. That's interesting. Huddersfield drew to Man United. Who knows? Maybe we can pull out a win against Tottenham here. If results like that are flying around. I'm not sure if you guys noticed this before I did. Liverpool 7, Arsenal 1. We could have beat Arsenal too if it wasn't for a goal in the last seconds of the game. But we won't do that against Tottenham. So yeah, look, we do have quite the run of form here going here. We're undefeated in 5, and the 2 draws are to Chelsea and Arsenal. In games which we were dominant, actually, and in every game which we haven't played Chelsea or Arsenal, we've kept a clean sheet. In fact, we kept a clean sheet against Chelsea as well, so... yeah, 3 wins from the last 5, 4 clean sheets from the last 5. It's progress. It's definitely progress. Welcome then to the start of the January transfer window, and as you can see we do have some ins and outs to go through. I am going to start with the outs just because it's the players we're more familiar with. So first off, Stephen Davies has gone to Newcastle, 5.25 million. Long story short, he wanted more game time, and with Dusan Tadic being probably the best player on the team, I just couldn't afford to give it to him. It's unfortunate. He's a very good player and would have been a very good backup, but he just didn't want the backup role, and there's not too much I can do about that, really. So, Jeremy Pied has also left. He was a right winger, also right back. He was never going to feature. He wanted first-team football, and that was not going to happen in a million years. So, he's gone to Leicester, 2.1 million. Guido Carrillo has gone to Stoke for 7 million. 5th choice striker, unnecessary. Actually would have been 4th choice striker with the next one, but... yeah, 5th choice striker, 7 million, wanted more football, not worth keeping around really. And Charlie Austin, sad to see him go, but I just don't feel like he was good enough to be starting. And he wanted more football. There's a common theme here. He wanted more football. We didn't want to give it to him. Newcastle came in, offered 8.25 million, and we said yes. So, we have bought in some players too. Most notably, let's start with the big one. Timo Horn from FC Köln has came in to be our new goalkeeper. Anyone who's used Timo Horn knows how good he is on this game. Absolutely fantastic keeper. Only 24 years old as well, so can still develop. And yeah, I think this is going to be a huge upgrade. We do still have Fraser Forster around if for whatever reason this doesn't work out. Although it is worth noting he is also on less money than Fraser Forster, so maybe he won't be around too much longer. Who knows? Aaron Gunnarsson then from Cardiff. Not too exciting of a player. He's just here because we didn't actually have a backup defensive midfielder. And if anything happened to Romeo, I don't want to have to switch the system. I've used him before this year and he's been fine. He's nothing incredible, but he's, you know, as you can see from his stats, he's all-rounded. He doesn't really excel at anything. Even the stats which are important to his role, like tackling, marking, work rate, teamwork, even passing, like they're not standout, they're just fine. And to be honest, for a backup, that's all you really want. He's also happy to be a rotation option, which is nice. And then this £1 million striker, Hassan from Braga, someone who I've used a lot this year. And he's just really good. Like, ignore this. He's just a really good striker. He can play as a complete forward or an advanced forward with relative ease. And he's probably going to come off the bench a lot for us. He was happy to be a backup, which Charlie Austin wasn't. He's on a lot less money. He was a lot cheaper. And yeah, I'm just relatively confident in this signing. So I think we're going to have quite a big impact from this. Obviously, we've sent more players out than we've got in, but we have quite a big squad, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. And we've also replaced a couple of positions or got positions that we didn't really have, like a backup defensive mid and a new goalkeeper. So, with that said, there is still a couple of signings I'll need to make. Obviously, with Stephen Davies leaving, we don't have a backup attacking midfielder that's really up to scratch. So that's something I'm going to be looking to sign. But with that being all said and done, then we do need to fix the bench. So I will do that and be right back with you in a second. Okay then, so we are here for the game against Tottenham. And as you can see, the side has had a bit of a shuffle. You might be slightly concerned about the fitness of some of the players. And to be honest, so am I. We've played a lot of games in a short space of time. I'm risking it for today on the pure basis of the fact that after this game, we have a big break until this cup game against Newport, which we can rest a lot of our other players in. And then we have a big break again until Burnley. So I'm just hoping that we can just see out this game. Obviously, Tottenham would have played 2 days ago as well. So it's not a big deal. It's just kind of unfortunate. Obviously, Hadet rejected his injection, so he's not here for this game today. We're playing Yoshida instead in a more defensive role, less ball playing. It's not the end of the world. And Ryan Bertrand is back in the side. With obviously Timo Horn, the new goalkeeper, stepping up in goal, and he's going to play on his preferred... Actually, I don't know. I've never used a sweeper keeper. Or I have used a sweeper keeper because I've used Timo Horn. Did I not play him as a sweeper keeper? I don't know what I do with sweeper keepers. We're going to do this. I'm not entirely sure if it's right, but we'll go for it. For now, it'll do. So, a couple of the new boys have stepped onto the bench, or actually both of them. Gunnarsson and Hassan both taking the spots of Davis and Austin, respectively. And Bednarek is also on the bench to replace the injured Wesley Hadet. So, let's get into the game. Oh, we need to assign numbers. This is exciting. Timo Horn is number 1. He comes into the side on the 1st of January and gets that number 1, and their team is terrifying. Literally, yeah, every position is good. I'm not even going to go over it. They're all really good players. And there's also no major absences there at all, so this will be difficult. So we kick off here then, and I'm just hoping we can not get battered. I don't want to kill the morale that we've sort of gathered from this run of form. As we do get a free kick, James Ward-Prowse takes it and it goes just high and wide. That was closer than I think it looked there. He's just got back from his suspension and Ryan Bertrand immediately picks up a yellow card and they have a throw in here. Kieran Trippier gives it to Christian Eriksen. Dele Alli on the ball. Great challenge there by Yoshida, and that's not a good start for Timo Horn, is it? It's not the best shot from Heung-min Son, but he does manage to slot it into the bottom corner of the net. And there were some good challenges in there, especially that one by Yoshida, who hasn't played a game for us all season. Look at that, it's beautiful. But Son manages to get it under control, and Horn just can't make the save. I'm not entirely sure why, because that didn't look that difficult, in all honesty. But they're attacking again here then. Danny Rose is in a lot of space down the left-hand side. Yoshida heads clear, but they win it back. Lucas Moura takes the strike. It just goes wide. Another highlight then. Laurie from the goal kick pumps it up. Heung-min Son. And this is getting worrying. There's a lot of highlights in this game, and not many of them seem to be ours. Lucas Moura then on the ball here. Can we win it back? Can we put in a challenge? Not yet. We're pressuring them though. The pressure is on for them, but no, they do manage to give it to Lucas Moura. He puts it to the back post and Heung-min Son grabs his second of the game, winning the header over Cedric. Neither of those particularly aerial players, but Heung-min Son getting the better of it there, and we don't need to see that again, do we? No. I don't want to, really. Not with the way this game is going so far. Matthias de Ligt, by the way, is absolutely dead on his feet, but they've got another highlight here. Danny Rose is on the left flank. He puts in the ball. Harry Kane goes to win it, gives it to Winks, and it's just ricocheting everywhere. And they put in another ball. Heung-min Son doesn't win that header, and it deflected. You can't take anything from that. It was You know, giving that to Dele Alli, I think, is generous because that looked like it was going very wide. But Trippier puts it across, we head it clear, and it falls to Winks, heads it down to Ali, and it looks like it deflects off of Mateus Delete. It's unfortunate, but there's not too much we can do, and we are 3-0 down now in the first half. It's our first defeat in a while, actually, and it's an absolute battering so far. Although, if we want to be a little bit more optimistic, I'm fairly sure we went 3-0 down in the first game against Tottenham, and we all remember how that one ended. If you don't, it was a 6-4 win. So, hopefully we can repeat our antics. We're just lulling them into this false sense of security, and now we're going to strike. Maybe. Okay, so Patrick Catrone is having an absolute shocker of a game here, and it doesn't let you pausing with spacebar on that screen. So I'm going to bring on Hassan, the new boy, and put him up top, and just see what he can do. Let's see what we can get out of him here. Hassan then, with his first touch on the ball, puts through a pass. It doesn't quite find Gabbiadini. Their keeper is now in possession. And it looks like it might be another chance for them, which would be disappointing. They have a lot of space on this right wing here with Kieran Trippier. And that looks nothing like Kieran Trippier, by the way. But hopefully, we can start to get a couple more attacks in. I am going to make some tactical changes, actually. We're going to go more direct, I think. We're going to completely change system here. We're going to go very high tempo. We're going to not shoot on sight. We're going to look for the overlap. And we're just going to pump it. As Lamella puts in a corner, headed clear by Cedric. Is this a real highlight? I don't know. Mora to Lamella on the left wing. It was definitely a real highlight. I wish it wasn't. It's an own goal by Maya Yoshida, who hasn't played for us all season. And then does that. It's arguable that I shouldn't have put Timo Horn in when he arrived at the stadium about 3 hours before the game. That is an argument. I think it's quite a valid one. They do have a throw in here, though. Lucas Moura to Trippier, and this isn't going to be our highlight again, is it? Danny Rose then on the left flank, and they are just working it so nicely. We are just unable to do anything. Romeu does win it back, though, and can we get a chance here? Hassan pushes it. Oh, that's not a good first impression. That's really not a good first impression. Both Timo Horn and Hassan then have had very poor first impressions. Shall we see what Gunnarsson does with his? Cedric clears it. Oh, they're 5-0 up. I just feel so powerless in this game. Like, I feel like there's nothing I can do. We're going to bring on Gunnarsson and just sort of see what he can do. Just to, you know, let's get these first game nerves for him, for the club, out of the way. As if he has first game nerves. I don't know. I've sort of just made up that he does in my head. That's what I'm putting Timo Horn's shocking performance down for. And Yoshida while we're at it. But we're in the 88th minute here. We do have a goal kick. Pumped up to Gabbiadini. Can't quite get the ball, but we do manage to win their header. I don't know what I was trying to say. Dusan Tadic slides through Gabbiadini. Doesn't quite go in. It hits the post, actually, I think, there. But Laurie does claim it. And it looks like this is just going to be the end of the game. Davinson Sanchez doesn't quite get anything with the header. Hassan gets challenged, and this will tick out into full time, I do believe. Quite the convincing defeat, it has to be said. We'll just go and shout at them a little bit. Aggressive, far from pleased. Yeah, I'm glad you all also not pleased. We are going to very quickly then wrap up this episode, since it has been quite a long one. There was a lot of intermittent stuff that happened with injuries and transfers. So, thank you all very much for watching. We will be back tomorrow with the games against Burnley and Man United, and I'll get this Newport County one out in the interim. So, Man United tomorrow, then our fourth big game in a row for an episode. This will be fun. So if you do have any feedback, please do leave it in the comments below. And a video goes live at 5:30 every single day, 5:30 PM that is. And if you want to get that into your newsfeed, you can hit the subscribe button and that will do that for you. So we're going to call on into this here. Thank you all for watching and have a good night. Bye.